So my last video, I talked about how I wanted to start doing videos on options. My name is Cesar Espejo with Legacy Options. And today I just wanted to go into the basics, just basics. What companies to open your account with if you don't have one. What is the difference between a stock and options? And just kind of give you an idea of how it all works, why I prefer options as opposed to stocks. So let's start with what company should you open your account with. Right now, there's Robinhood. They're free. They have all these free apps. And obviously, if something's free, there's always a downside to it, right? Because it's free. So you don't have the flexibility. The options aren't as great. And you might have less functionality. But those same companies, thanks to them, they've kind of pushed the bigger companies into doing things for free too. So I use two different brokers. I use TD AmeriTrade, which has a platform called Thinkorswim, and I use Tastyworks. Now, if I was to recommend a platform to somebody who's new and just started trading, I would say start trading with Tastyworks. Why? Tastyworks is very user-friendly. It's made for the retail guy. It's made simple to navigate. But what happens with me is that I've been trading for 10 years with TD AmeriTrade. So you get into a habit, you get used to it. And my account also has portfolio margin. I have all the approvals for futures trading, options trading, all the levels in options trading. And it has margin and span margin and everything else. So because of that, I've kept that account. I have good relationships with their help desk, which is something else I wanted to talk about. It's like anything else. Customer service is huge. And with TD Ameritrade, you call them and they will walk you through a trade, what you're trying to do. You can ask all the questions you want, and they're awesome. They're answering. Tastyworks is also very good. However, they're a smaller company. So I've noticed that sometimes you call and you might have to wait a little longer to get some service. These are the things that are like the ups and downs about it. However, Tastyworks, like I said, is made for the retail guy. It's made for you to know exactly how to put on a trade. I mean, they literally break it down. Sell a put, sell an option, sell a vertical, sell an iron condor, all the different types of strategies that you can do. And they're making it simpler and easier for you to also get into the futures trading. They have their own channel where they have tutorials, they have education, which TD Ameritrade also has education. So they'll have their library of videos that go into how to put on a trade, what exactly happens when you put it on, how do you get out of it, how do you roll, how do you manage, all the different things that are entailed in trading. So those are the two that I recommend, TD Ameritrade and Tastyworks. If you're new to it completely, I say go with Tastyworks. That's my opinion. No affiliation. I'm not getting paid. They're not giving me anything for it. This is my opinion, my use. I do both of them on my phone. And that's the other thing. So I have a full-time job, just so everybody knows this. I trade on my phone when I get a break. And, I look at it, it's like anything else. If you think about it, most people have their phones at work, and depending on what you do, maybe you do or you don't. I don't know. But you could literally trade on your phone. I mean, I have my computer up here and it shows Tastyworks, my Tastyworks account. And to be honest with you, I really don't know how to use this part too much. I mean, I understand it, but when it comes to doing something quick, I go to my phone. It's just easier for me to do it on my phone than it is to actually log on and actually go on there and do something, sell something. But it's there and it's available and it's easy to use. Why options? Why not stocks? So a stock, let's give an example, Facebook stock. Facebook stock, you could just buy it. Now the reason I like options better is that options slow everything down, if that makes any sense, right? When you buy a stock, as soon as you buy a stock, you're either up or you're down immediately. With an option, you buy it and you have time, because especially if you're selling options. If you're selling options, you have time. So let's say you sell options 45 days out. You have 45 days for that stock to move up, move down, move sideways, and it gives you the time for you to be right. And if you're wrong for whatever reason, you could just roll it for another 45 days, another 2 weeks. You could change the strike price. And I'm going to get into the basics of it, right? So let's just go into the basics of what an option is. Facebook's trading, give hypothetical numbers. Right now, Facebook's trading, let's say, it's about $200. $200 a share. Facebook's at $200 a share right now. If you think that Facebook is going to go up, you would buy a call. A call means it's going to go up. And if you think Facebook's going to go down, you would buy a put. That means you think that Facebook's going to go down. Now, in the prior video that I had, I discussed how when you buy a put or buy a call, most of those things expire worthless. So what I like to do is sell a put and sell a call. So in essence, if you buy a call, you think that it's going to go up. But if you sell a call, you don't think that it's going to go above the strike price that you picked, if that makes any sense. Same thing with a put. If you buy a put, you think that the stock is going to go down below the put strike price that you chose. But if you sell a put, then you think that it's not going to go below that. So it's like a bullish trade, all right? That's kind of the basics of what an option is. So a stock, you buy it. If the stock goes up, you make money. If it goes down, you lose money. With an option, you're actually controlling these shares of, let's say, Facebook, and you have time and you're using a lot less money. So just to get into the basics again, one contract of an option, one contract controls 100 shares. So if you think about it, this is another cost savings and why options are also better. It's a better use of your money. It's capital efficient, right? If you want to buy 100 shares of Facebook, you're going to shell out $200 for 100 shares, and do the math. With an option, you could literally buy one contract and it might cost you $200. So you're paying $200 to control the same amount of shares for a given amount of time, as opposed to shelling out to control 100 shares. And when you get into stocks like Amazon, which is trading at about $1,800, one share costs you $1,800. One contract will probably cost you about $500-$600, depending on how far or how close it is to the strike price of what you're selling, what you're buying. But I mean, you're controlling 100 shares of Amazon. I mean, that's a huge amount of money, and you're actually controlling it with a small amount of money. So that's one of the biggest things, capital efficiency. And then when you get into futures, that efficiency even grows even further. I mean, now you're controlling a lot more, but you're using a little bit of capital. So these are the things that you want to look at, right? Now, I'll be honest with people about one thing that I've realized about options trading. This is the one place where I think the more money you have, the more money you make, and the easier you make money, right? And the reason is, if you start with a very, very small account, 5,000, 3,000, in order for you to make a return that makes sense, you're gonna be a little riskier as far as the puts or the calls that you're selling. You're gonna have to be closer to the money. Meanwhile, if you have a larger account, you could sell further out of the money and maybe one or two more contracts and have a bigger safety net and get paid a little bit more. So that's one of the things where people say, well, so how much do I need to start? You know, if you could save up $10,000, that would be an ideal thing, but I wouldn't go off of that. I would start with whatever you have. Why? Because part of what makes anybody good at anything is to do it repetitively and try it and look at the trades and put them on and be a part of the process, understand how it works, put on a trade, go through the process, sell it. Most of these platforms has a paper trading function, but TD AmeriTrade does. Now, depending on your personality, that's something that might work for you, and that's something that might not work for you. Depends on who you are. Me personally, my DNA is not made up to use fake money. Why? Because I won't feel like it's real, and I need to be able to feel like if I'm putting something on, I'm doing it because it's real money on the line, and I might lose it. And my brother, he's also learning how to trade, and he started off with a paper trading account. And he comes to me one day. He goes to me, Caesar, I made $40,000 today. I said, really? I said, what did you do? I sold 30 contracts of the S&P, the SPY index. And I'm like, you sold 30 contracts. So I had to stop him. I said, Nelson, let's think about this now. You sold 30 contracts. If that was real money, would you have done that? And he looks at me, he's like, probably not. And I said, and that's the reason why I don't think sometimes it's healthy to use paper trading. I mean, and believe me, I see the purpose in it, and some people are good at it, and you learn, you get the basics, you see the gist of how much money you're going to start with, and maybe you can practice. But let's keep it realistic. You know, you're not going to do crazy trades that net you 20 grand, and then you're like, when you got your real money, you're not going to do that. So you want to, if you are going to use paper trading, you want to use paper trading exactly how you plan on using your own money. Treat it as real money. That way you won't, make these mistakes and then have your real money blow up your account. So you want to definitely look at how you're trading your account. So TD AmeriTrade does have that function. So that's something you want to look into, a paper trading account. And then the other question I get a lot from people is, hey, what about taxes? I'm going to tell you something about taxes. If you're making a lot of money, you shouldn't have a problem paying taxes. Just like anything else. I mean, you go to work and they take the taxes out. You pay them. So I'm okay paying taxes. As long as you're making money, it's something that I don't even worry about. It'll all get calculated. They send you a 1099 at the end of the year. Hey, Caesar, you made $60,000 this year on your trading. I look at it and I smile. All right. And then the tax man is there waiting for his money. Pay him his money and make more money. At the end of the day, that's the last thing you want to be worried about is taxes. And even though there's some tax benefits to this also, since we're talking about taxes, right? And I'm not a tax expert. I'm not giving anybody tax advice. However, if you're trading futures and you're trading the SPY, S&P 500, for some reason they give that special taxing privileges. And I think you pay, it's like a 60-40 split with the taxes. Talk to your tax attorneys if that's something or your accountants if that's something that you're interested in. But that is one of the things that I found out. How did I find out? Well, anytime I have a question, I get right on the phone and I call TD AmeriTrade, their help desk, and I get to talk to whatever person. I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, hey, I'm in this trade, and what do you think? And I ask people's opinion. Why? Because all they could do is give it to you. And if they don't give it to you, you just keep going on. But at least you get to hear somebody's opinion on things. Why not? Doesn't hurt. And this guy told me that. He goes, well, with this position, you're going to get a tax break. So before the years, I would get rid of it, and you'll realize, the tax loss on paper. I said, okay. So just something to keep in mind, that if you ever have any questions, you could always call whatever brokers you're using and ask them, and they'll be there willing to help you, willing to go over any question you may have. So to recap, we're not buying stocks. We're not buying stocks. Why? Because it's inefficient. You want to use your capital in an efficient manner, and you want to maximize the amount of probability of profit that you have, right? So let's leave stocks alone. And if you're a person that wants to buy stocks, then here's a thought. Because once you know about options, you'll never go and buy a stock. It just makes no sense at all. In the whole world, it doesn't make sense. Why? Because if you want to buy Facebook, you're hell-bent, I want Facebook in my account. I want to own it. Then you would never go out and buy Facebook. What you would do is you would sell a put right under or at the money and get paid to sell that put. And then those shares of Facebook would get put to you at a discount because you'll get paid to sell the put, and if the stock is in the money, it'll get put to you. And if it's not in the money, you'll just make the money you got paid for, or the credit you got paid for selling that put near or at the money, and then you'll sell it again until you get the shares that you want. So you'll never buy stocks again. And that's an amazing thing once you know that you won't buy stocks like people do all the time. I bought 1,000 shares. It makes no damn sense. And even if you did want to own 1,000 shares, maybe you just sell 10 contracts. That's 1,000 shares of anything. This is the beginning. We're learning this stuff, and these are the things that once you find out, you're like, man, somebody should have told me this. Oh, and the other thing is, I never learned this in college. I never learned it in high school. And I mean, it's sad that they don't want you to learn this stuff. Nobody wants you to know this stuff. Believe me, I've been at my job 20-something years. If something happens to me tomorrow, they will replace me. And he was a great guy, but they'll find somebody else to do what I'm doing. So we have an obligation to learn how to become wealthy for our kids, our families, and that means getting multiple streams of income. Now, like I said in the other video, I started with real estate, and that's one of my biggest passions. I mean, I've been doing real estate for 20-something years, multi-units, rental income. I like the feeling of collecting rent every single month. I like to say that every first of the month is my birthday, right? Because everybody's looking for me to give me money. Well, with options, it's almost the same thing. I mean, you could literally set it up where you have expiring contracts every single month. And I've tried that just to see how it feels. I literally, sold puts on the S&P 500 every month just to see them expire and just see how it feels to get expiring contracts, money coming into your account every single month. It's almost like a weekly paycheck. These are the type of things that you can do. And there's countless amounts of strategies to have money coming into your account using options. I mean, weekly options, monthly options. There's just so many ways to look at this. And if you're listening to this video, you're actually here for a reason, because you're looking to find some information on this. You're interested in learning how to do it. And this is the first step. This is the first step. Sit here, watch these videos, my videos, whoever's videos are out there, get as much information as possible, and then put that first foot forward and start doing it. Action. That's the next thing you gotta look at. Action. What are you doing to get this done? When I first started in real estate, people say, oh, well, Caesar, you got lucky with that 4-family you bought. What they don't realize is that before I bought that first, I looked at about 30 properties. And I put like maybe 10, 12 offers that all got rejected. So when I found that 4-family, and I already had looked at 30 homes and put 10 offers, and it got rejected, it fell through, or somebody else's offer went through. When I got to that property, I knew what I was looking at. It wasn't no hesitation in anything that I was doing. The realtor I was working with, I said, I'm gonna get this house. And he goes, well, how much are you gonna offer? I said, how much are they asking? I went $30,000 over what they were asking. Why? Because I knew what I was looking at. At that point, I looked at 30 houses in the same market. I put offers in on everything else and they fell through for whatever reason. So I knew that this house, I was gonna get it. And that's part of what I think people need to understand. Once you start doing something, it's like anything else. If you swing a bat 1,000 times, you're gonna get good at swinging a bat. And when that pitch comes, you're gonna know how to hit it. Same thing with options, same thing with real estate, same thing with anything you do in life. And if you think about it, people say, oh, well, I could learn it on my own. I could go read a book. Yeah, go read a book. Think about this. Michael Jordan best basketball player, arguably, to ever play the game. LeBron James, Tiger Woods. You name the sport, you name the athlete that has been the best ever. Guess what? They all got coaches. So if Michael Jordan has a coach, if LeBron James has a coach, Tiger Woods has a coach, what makes you think you don't need a coach or I don't need a coach? I pay for a coach happily. Why? Because a coach is somebody that you'll learn from. Nobody knows everything. I'm not telling you I know everything. I've been training and educating myself, and this is part of the journey. But we all need coaching. I got tons of books here. I got books on options and trading and mindset, all the different things that could help you become a better trader, a better investor in real estate, in whatever you're doing. But coaching is necessary, and it costs money. In March, I'm heading out to a conference, another conference on trading and options trading. I'll do that. Maybe I'll know half the stuff, maybe I won't. But if you leave with one thing out of this video that will make you money, then it was all worth it. Same thing with training. I've paid thousands of dollars for training, right? I paid thousands of dollars for training and left with one nugget that made me $7,000. So was it worth it? Absolutely. I think that's good for today, and I'll see you at the next video. It's Cesar Espejo with Legacy Options. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Hit that like button. Any topics you might want me to talk about, put them on there. And that's it for me until next time. So, like I always say, health, wealth, and love. Peace.